Hey everybody, and welcome to another Torb Looks At. Today we're looking at a game called Roadwarden. Specifically, it's a demo. I saw it randomly recommended to me in the Steam thing, and it's like a choose your own adventure game, kind of. Not quite sure the details, but since it has a demo, I thought I'd try it out. Oh cool, there's a main menu. I need to adjust the volume a little bit. I adjusted it in the OBS, but rather have it adjusted in the game. Alright, cool. Everyone knows to stay away from the wilderness. Most people would never risk a lonely journey. Roadwardens not only accept the struggle, but they embrace it. They deliver messages, assist merchants, burn human corpses, and if possible, get rid of the beasts and the highwaymen. They live on the road and die young or retire early. It's a dangerous job, but a respectable one, and it pays well. I don't know what... If I hit, I still have my doubts. I feel like there's two options, right? Either A, it's like, you stay in the town a little while longer, or B, it just returns you the menu. I guess I'll press it. Okay. I'll leave the safety. You gotta check, clearly. The wall is still standing. There are no wolves around. No stench of blood. Good signs. This should be the place you're looking for. You're supposed to meet with a group of soldiers, but you hear no voices, no sounds of labor. One sec, the music's going a little bit crazy. The gate is ajar, but the camp isn't safe. You may keep away the goblins and pebblers, but not beast folk nor trolls, and the night is near. Your palfrey breathes heavily. It has been a long day. I think I sneaked to the gate. Your heavy boots hit the ground and the pain of the long ride finally catches up to you. You stretch around, bring your back and legs comfort. All you want now is a table, a decent chair, and a nice mug of beer, and some warm stew. With any luck, your axe won't be needed here. I approach the gate carefully. If it's a military camp, it doesn't look the part. Plenty of wasted space, the fire pit is cold. Two people are sitting at the table, tired and disheartened. They're looking in different directions, paying no attention to one another. One of them is holding a cup. After a moment, you notice the quiet humming. You recognize the melody of a lighthearted drinking song from the city harbor. Fuck, are these guys bandits? I'll look around cautiously. The people inside the camp didn't even notice the clatter of hooves. The short, dry grasses barely cover the arid soil of this valley, but you're maybe a minute away from the edge of the sparse woods, which get denser as they climb up the hills. At best, this trail has a few more years before getting overgrown for good. Hard to believe it's the only route north. Yeah, I'll enter. It takes them a few breaths to glance in your direction. The first person greets you with a wave of his hands. There are bags under his eyes, his beard is messy. Despite his simple shirt, he's wearing durable, decent boots. A mace with the head covered in iron hangs at his side, but he doesn't reach for it. Take a look at the second soul. Just like you, she's wearing a gambeson, but hers is a bit loose, as if she took it off a corpse. Her head is shaven as if she's protecting herself from flesh-eating bugs. Her eyes are weary yet kind. She smiles. Considering the squad was sent here half a year ago, these two surely look the part, though there should be more of them. 8, you believe. I asked them about the lieutenant. You wonder how to phrase your question. Whenever you meet new people, you can influence how they perceive you by selecting one of the attributes. So friendly, playful, distanced, intimidating, or vulnerable. I mean, they friendly waved at me, so I kind of want to be friendly back. I'll be cordial. Oh, it says, It says the text. Yeah, no, this sounds right. The woman lets out a loud sigh, dusts off her gambeson, and steps off towards you. She pays little attention to the sword at her side. We most definitely can, you and I. Though holding this rank is still somewhat new to me. Are you a messenger? Did you lose your mount? She observes you with curiosity. Or are you looking for help? I'm your new Roadwarden. My horse is waiting outside. Really? The soldier in the shirt leans forward. That explains how you got here in one piece, all by yourself. Better bring your beast here, adds the lieutenant. We have no hay. I bet it dreams of dropping its saddle. A long pause. I'm Tulia, by the way. She reaches out her hand. I shake her hand. Oh. It may be a trap? Gesture for stop pretending to be embarrassed. I don't know, I don't think these guys are necessarily... No, I definitely will do the latter. Obviously, I am Torb. She stands with her hand out, but then raises her arms with an awkward smile. Of course, of course. Just keep your horse away from the tents. She steps away. We don't need to smell its dung. We should also prepare for the night, the soldier in the shirt says, as he rises to his feet. We've got no tent to spare. You'll have to use a blanket or something. That's fine. You walk through the gate. Your mount looks around anxiously. Not many humans could ride a horse. It's not only taller than you, but also bulky and as heavy as it is strong. You can get in the saddle within a single breath, but most people wouldn't know where to even begin. From every side, it's a wall of flesh. Horses were brought to the Dragon Woods from the conquests in the south. They can trot for a long time, but won't outrun some of the local monsters. Palfrey needs you to survive. Without it, you too would be lost. Yeah, I want to feel at ease. He takes a few steps towards you, scolding you with another snort. You scratch the bottom of its neck with strength and confidence, just the way it likes it. Humans see useful animals, and even pets, as monsters in disguise. Getting emotionally attached to them is believed to lead humans to their doom, but you know that horses need companionship. I speak to it gently and lead it to the camp. You end up next to the fire pit. Removing the saddle makes the horse nicker with relief. You take a couple minutes to examine its back, just in case. While riding equipment is not that heavy for such a strong animal, with time, it starts to chafe. You wish I had something better to eat than the shabby grass. You should look for an inn. Okay. I like this sort of just like in medias res intro. Oh, what? I get to choose a class? So I haven't brought that many things, and I lost one of my sacks while fleeing the Crimson Corpse Eaters. Worst of all, you have no rope left. Maybe the soldiers could share one. Shouldn't cost more than a dragon bone. Aside from the travel set, you own a few valuable possessions. So I could have a fine gambeson, an axe made of steel, and a crossbow. Or magic. Or I'll go for the fighter. I feel like fighter is just like the most straightforward and easy to play class usually for solo, at least to start off with. In these sorts of things. You unpack and inspect your belongings. Your water skin isn't pierced, the spare clothes are still here, just in case you take a look at the wooden bowl and mug, your cape, tinder boxes, etc, etc. From time to time, your routine helps you avoid mistakes, but this doesn't make it any more exciting. Taking hits will damage your armor. You can then fix it in various settlements. Oh, that's nice. Oh, and there's a clock before dusk. They're at the table again, observing your beast and chatting between themselves. Stomach growls at the sight of them eating out of the wooden bowls. One more bowl was put at a previously unused end of the table. You can sit down on a tree log. Yeah, I'll join them. Why not? It's cold rule, the meal eaten in times of hardship. The specific bowl is filled with water, hog millet, and some strange looking cereals and blueberries. Welcoming you with a meal, even a humble one, is beyond their duty. Soldiers live with and for their companions, constantly on the move from one part of the realm to another, making sacrifices to protect their groups as they face dozens of hideous creatures. Their lives are filled with discipline, hardship, and camaraderie. Yeah. I figured it was such a nice gesture. I figured if it was like poison, I would just like tank it. Roadwardens learn how to work by themselves. They seldom engage in open combat, patrolling the same roads for years. So they are just rangers. They help the settlements stay in touch, but also maintain commerce, settle down, forge friendships. Okay. I'll speak with Tulia, +1 stomach point. She's focused and chooses her words carefully. She looks away only when she gathers her thoughts. I'm afraid I can tell you less than I'd like to and less than I should. She nods towards the other soldier. As you can see, there's not a lot of us left. At the beginning of the summer, there were 8 of us, including our previous lieutenant. 5 are dead, 1 has run away in tears. We are also strangers in this land, adds her companion. Any piece of information may help me do my job. How did they all die? The man leans forward, his legs shake nervously. He sounds like a kid asking a bard to sing one more story, tell a joke, or do a magic trick. Whatever it takes to escape from boredom, his untrimmed beard hides a much younger face than he originally thought. What did the officials tell you? I expect not that much. No soul governs these lands. I'll share what's relevant. These guys are going to be dead before they even get back. You tell the soldiers how little guidance you've received. Since this area is too far away from Havlavan to keep it under control, you're warned that it's untamed and unknown. Who knows how many villages, bandits, or monsters may be found in these unmapped hills and forests? From time to time, new people come here to look for boundless opportunities. Most of them never return. Do they turn into walking corpses, or find what they're looking for? No soul could tell me, so I was looking for your guidance. Oh, there's big text. Before I continue my journey, I need to ask them about these 3 things. Oh, so if you ask the other ones, it doesn't advance the clock or whatever. The lieutenant drinks from her cup and crosses her legs, ankle on knee. Seeing her chair makes you doubt she'll ever find a comfortable position. What happened to your squad? The man shrugs. Bandits happened, and monsters. A strong band, though, his companion chips in. When we got to the peninsula in spring, we saw some people living in this camp. The lieutenant decided to avoid it and look for an inn. We had to travel through the night for a bit. The bearded soldier scoffs and crosses his arms, but she carries on. If he had decided otherwise, we would have all died that day. The innkeeper explains that the camp is a trap, that the armed ones pretend to be soldiers. Stay there at night and lose everything you have. Sounds like slave hunters. Dude, they were doing... Fuck, these guys could be the bandits. I was right to doubt them. Very much so. They killed some and took others away, who knows where. They were letting the northerners go, hoping to avoid their wrath. It kind of worked, adds the soldier. We asked them for help, but they refused. We had to clear the entire camp on our own. That's why 3 of our people died. Don't exaggerate, it's not like the lieutenant didn't make a mistake. He wanted to get rid of them and take over their camp, but we didn't know our enemy well enough. We were outnumbered, and they had an ice mage among them. She looks at you. At least we cleared the road, saved lives. You mentioned monsters as well. Nothing that would surprise you. Those of us who survived the skirmish were young, too inexperienced to spend a summer in this place without a good leader. They didn't trust me. One of them got caught by a treant. Another one ignored my orders to perform some sort of a ritual hunt, so Werebear tore her to pieces. The last one tried to act tough, didn't tell us that he had cut his hand while cleaning his gambeson. We had to cut it off, and he was so ashamed that he decided to walk north, find a new life, and disappear. Idiot. What a colorful journey. The man tries to drink from his mug, but it's empty. Dude, there's fucking evil werebears in this forest. Why is everything so high CR? This forest sounds insane. Yeah, I'll butter them up. Barely. She seems tired. And who knows if it's worth the lives and effort. What happened to the previous guy? She takes a deep breath. Aren't you a bit late for a rescue mission? We haven't heard from him for almost half a year. The soldiers speak a bit between themselves, trying to get their story straight. They confirm that he'd stopped by their camp a few times, but stopped showing up at all in early summer. The bearded soldier starts to scratch the table with the tip of his knife without looking at you. I don't remember his voice, always busy, drowning in things to take care of. He would sit somewhere, sharpen his sword, fix his loud mail, clean clothes, write notes on that wax tablet of his. Yep, and leave at dawn. Unlike us, Asterion never gets bored. Tulia lets out a joyless chuckle. He's secretive, but some of the locals speak about him warmly. Maybe he just doesn't like us. Asterion from Baldur's Gate? If anyone knows, they won't tell us. Maybe someone is keeping him in a basement. The man cars the passion. We haven't seen him or his Saurian. Something ate them, I bet. The officials have hired you, right? They don't expect him to return. Richer Roadwardens often use four-legged, meat-eating Saurians as their mounts. They have to be tamed and trained since they're hatching, but unlike horses, can easily defend themselves from many monsters. At least your palfrey is fast and reliable, and won't suddenly sink its teeth into an innocent passersby. Dude, it sounds like I'm just being set up to fucking totally get fucked. Are you actually joking? This horse is gonna get, like, ran down by a cheetah man moving at, like, 50 miles per hour. And then I'll be just stuck in the woods somewhere? Did he leave you a message? Neither one of us had any insight into his dealings. My predecessor left me no clues. We also took a look at his stuff. Wait! I almost forgot. She stands up and heads to a nearby tent. He has kids. In a village near Havlavan. That's planning to take all his things there. A pouch, a second spear, a decent bow, and some potions. Quite a treasure. She glances at you. But I would much prefer to bring them the truth about their father. So you want me to find out what happened to him in exchange for his stuff? Here's the catch. We've hired a messenger to ask the commanders for further orders. Since she hasn't returned and you know nothing about her, she either ran away or something has happened to her. We're meant to stay here until fall. What do you think? Come see us, tell us what you've learned about the man, and we'll get back to Hovlavan together. You think about your real mission. You're planning to return in the early fall anyway. If he's alive, I don't think he's going to be happy about me taking away all of his possessions. True, but he's considered dead. I doubt he'd begrudge you anything. And who knows, he may just find his shell laying on the roadside tomorrow. He wears mail, uses a spear mostly, maybe 5 feet tall but stout, long red beard, short hair, pale face, rarely smiles. She glances at her companion. But after he adds nothing, she sits down and stretches her legs. So find out what happened to him. Dead, alive, just let me know. Okay, what should I know about the peninsula? I'll tell you what I know, and you'll be the judge. How long did it take you to get here from the city? On a decent palfrey, I would guess 3-4 days. From here, you can reach the coast in about a day, as long as you don't make any stops. Do you know the situation, why no ships can get here? You nod. The sea route allows Havlavan officials to keep in touch with the coastal villages, but maintaining order on a wild coast is like filling the ocean depths with coins. Because of the rocks, you can hardly stop a ship 5 miles from the shore, and boats can't get much closer. I don't know much about fishing, but there's not that many people living by the shore. They don't crave to stay in touch with city folk. No soul from the north ever came to the camp, but when we traveled to the roadside inn, Pelt of the North, they're happy to trade and play dice. Why not just stay there? I mean, you know, we're to guard this road, and this camp is our post. And well, don't take it the wrong way, Torb, but are you a devout soul? Oh, interesting. So there's like a spectrum here. Like most city folk, I believe that people shouldn't unite their strength to overcome the threats of nature and dark magic. Everyone will be judged for both good and evil deeds. For many years, I've supported a monastery that does its best to advance mankind's spiritual growth, artistry, herbalism, and magical research. Oh, these are all different things. I follow the teachings of an order of truth. Okay, so this is law and order. This is like a naturey one. I'm from a small village. For me, the freedom of shell, pneuma, and soul are the main virtues of life. My community is unique and independent, and so are its members. This is the chaotic good one. And then I have a strong connection to nature and spirits and follow the path of my ancestors. So my beliefs may be considered sinister and treacherous by the city folk. You'd probably call me a pagan. There's no evidence of the right's existence, and all the mystical tales are explained by magic. Okay. Well, I mean, the most, like, stereotypical thing for, like, a fighter type would be the United Church, right? Because I have armor and no weapon. I don't know, I just picture that's, like, more straightforward. I like the idea of this, like, second one, though. Wait, magical research. Nah, I'm a Giga Chad human paladin. A fellow unite, the man smiles. Though in this lane it won't bring you much good. At least we can discuss the topic freely, adds the lieutenant with a barely visible smile. Hell yes. The people here are disquieting. Every few words she taps the table with her finger. Their traditions won't help them negotiate with the officials here. She starts to draw lines with her index finger, as if she's pointing at an invisible map. The peninsula is connected with roads like a big circle. In the northwest, you'll find a weird village at a bog. It's not exactly pagan, I don't think. He even has a priest who claims to be an eremite. He nods, she means a fellowship. They do crazy shit, her companion chirps in. They use the dead to cut down trees and dig in soil. Once I saw it, I begged never to return there. They've got undead? You've heard tales such as this one since you were a child. If an isolated settlement manages to survive without a city's influence, its customs and traditions grow more and more alien. Every generation learns how to adapt to the dangerous conditions they have to deal with, and the rustic pagan traditions muddy their river of faith. Dude, that's such a cool concept. The United Church often warns its members about the crazy druids, necromancers, and blood mages, the bringers of doom, the traitors to mankind. I'm intrigued by the necromancers, but knowing about this is probably more useful. We saw all sorts of beasts. Oh, I can ask about the other thing too, thankfully. Goblins, treants, cats large and small, runners, howlers, wolves, spiked boars, mufflin eaters, griffins, but we managed to stay away. Dude, griffins, canonically in D&D, fucking eat mounts. That's like their favorite food, I'm pretty sure. Some could catch up with most mounts. Tulia glances at her companion. Though Palfrey should be fine, the trees are so tall that the flying creatures keep to the coasts and mountains. There's not that many humans around, and the animals are busy fighting amongst themselves. They fight more for food than territory. The soldier cracks his knuckles. Don't provoke them and ride fast. Just count on luck. We're able to speak with the necromancers. You can see why we were not eager to go there if we could avoid it, the lieutenant chuckles. Maybe they'll be more welcoming to a Roadwarden. The roads are dangerous with little to no shelters. People need your help. The man in the shirt turns a bit and points finger northwest. If you're heading to the undead village, you'll get to the inn first and soon. Tulia nods. The Pelt of the North is a safe place. You can talk with the innkeeper or the guards, ask them about the road. What about the east? Hard to tell. We went there only once. There were hills, forests, rivers. We saw a tunnel sculpted in leaves and branches. We didn't enter it. Wilderness all around. That sounds scary as hell. There's probably fucking gnomes there. Ready to fuck shit up. I mean, Tulia became a lieutenant because all the other ones died. I don't need to ask about this. What's your squad's mission? You know, the usual. Making the roads safe, keeping people safe. Explain that it might be important for me to know what they're trying to accomplish. I can't really tell you. You sense no hesitation. Do you have any other questions? She doesn't trust me enough to tell me about her squad's mission. It's so effed up. I'll ask about how the last one died. In the city, there's a strict order of, what should I call it? Leadership succession. Whole Havland chief selects commanders, those select lieutenants, and those put their soldiers in order of priority. If a lieutenant dies, they get replaced by the next one in line. When we fought the bandits, our lieutenant was hit by a slingshot. His boyfriend jumped to help him, but failed to protect either of them from a spell. It was like a ball of ice that hung above them and exploded, piercing their heads, completely voiding their shield. Really unpleasant. And you're the third one in line, is that right? Basically, yeah, she says without the enthusiasm. I didn't plan to become a leader, though. I'll get demoted once you return to the city. I prefer to follow anyways. Anything I should know about the camp? The story is brief. Some merchants built the camp to have an extra stop for mules and donkeys just between the inn and the southern villages. There's plenty of grass here. The pond nearby. When the peninsula grew more dangerous, the camp stood abandoned, from time to time serving as a shelter for travelers. The bandits came here in spring, further paralyzing the exchange of information between the northern and southern settlements. Since these highwaymen are no more, the situation may reverse, time will tell. You can sleep here whenever you want, the man concludes their tale, though don't expect to wake up without pain in your back. If you were me, where would you go next? To the inn, of course. He grabs his empty mug. The one northwest of here. If you can't afford the room, the main hall is free of charge. The locals rarely gather there. The northern road is much more traveled, mentions Tulia. The hunters will tell you about this and that, and you'll have a chance to introduce yourself. The innkeeper can listen, and he knows many souls. Any tips on how I can make a good first impression? Avoid cheap jokes, stick to trade, don't waste his time. Show him he can be relied on. So, do they have a spare rope? Oh, awesome. Awesome. Fine rope. Hell yes. Do I give food? I'm greedy. She didn't trust me. I hate her for it. For now, you leave the rope on the table. It's getting late. We should prepare for the night. I agree, she sighs with relief. And may you do better than Asterion did. Stay vigilant. She winks at you, shattering the mask of a soldier. I don't know if I'm going to be doing better than Asterion. One more thing if I can. The beard man approaches you. Can you take the first watch? Splitting time between 3 people makes a great difference. Yeah. Leave it to me. Fabulous. He pats your shoulder. Should be calm at least before midnight. Wake me up in a few hours or even earlier if anything happens. I smile. I'm happy to do my part. You go to the barrel and splash water on your face, which makes you even more aware of how much you need a bath. After night, it will only get worse. Horse is already napping, still too anxious to lay down. Oh, appearance 2 out of 5. Interesting. Does that mean I failed my influencing check? The soldier in the sure is eager to guide you. Just observe the area. There's plenty of griffins around, so they won't try to jump over the palisade, probably. Better watch out for the apes. They climb up and carry out any food they can. There's this one really loud were-elk that keeps smelling the wall. Those never try to get in. The lieutenant and I will block the entrances. They're quite heavy, so if anyone comes here looking for shelter, better call us to help you out. And if someone is being chased by wolves or something, better throw them the rope instead. If it gets cold, feel free to make a fire, and the best place is on the watchtower. You may want to put a blanket on there or something. The watchtower? He gives you a long, puzzled look. Oh, here? He points at the pile of crates. Just climb up to the tallest one. I have a great view of the northern side, the more dangerous side. And also, I know you're tired after all that riding. I can handle a couple hours sleeping on the ground. If you wish, go there after me and rest just this once. At least have a paladin inside. Sure, thanks. Oh, it shows the surroundings. You put your blanket on the tallest crate, sit down. The night is warm, but the sporadic summer breeze brings gentle refreshment. From time to time, your back aches, and you have to force yourself to keep your eyes open. The light of the moon helps you focus on the tall grasses. For most of the time, you spot smaller critters and birds, but there are exceptions. At one point, you see a 3-horned deer trying to challenge one another. Before they clash their antlers, a 2-legged dragonling appears, leading its much smaller offspring. The furry beasts try to intimidate the predators with roars and aggressive head movements. After a few moments, both sides walk away slowly, not willing to risk the fight nor admit their defeat. You hear the death screams of distant prey and the mating calls of monkeys. Runners are chasing a gray hare. A group of musk oxen lazily chew the grass, preparing themselves to sleep. A dusk fox is running together with the lynx, making playful screeches. Dude, there's so many animals just outside my fucking base. Thankfully, you never have to intervene. You just sit there watching the not-so-distant forest, trying to outlast your sleepiness. You can only guess how much time has passed. Once you feel you've had enough, you climb down and go to a tent, waking up the bearded man with just a couple words. You can confirm that nothing important happened. I gather my things and squeeze into the tent. I use my bag as a pillow and put my blanket on the pallet and cover myself with my cloak. Sleeping in a tent is not the stuff of dreams, but it's much welcomed rest. The pallet keeps the cold soil away. The moonlight saves the outside world from the eerie gloom. You listen to your own breath and find a comfortable position. Your job starts tomorrow. I focus on the real goal of my journey. The Merchant Guild wants to take control of this realm. Your wardening duties are secondary. First and foremost, you need to explore the peninsula, learn about the territory, resources, and threats. Get to know the locals, and if you can, convince them to consider negotiations with Hovlavian officials and traders. Could the tribes resist the soldiers, or be a threat to the priests of the United Church? Are there any forbidden practices that need to be eradicated, such as blood magic, necromancy, robbery, or slavery? I have 40 days. I need to be as thorough as I can. Once you finish your reconnaissance, you should speak with Tulia and return to Hovland. There you'll report back to your employers and get your reward. In the meantime, you have your own goal. So I could gather money. So this is my personal character goal. So coins so I can help a person I care about. Gather some extra coins so I can retire early and live in prosperity and safety. If I gather enough connections amongst the local leaders, I'll use them to become a major player in the guild. Want to be remembered as a hero. Just want to help people. Okay. I think it's a little early to think about retirement, so I'm gonna want to establish connections. New shelter unlocked. New entry gain influence. Your half-asleep senses are catching the sounds of the wild forest. Instincts keep you alert and anxious, though the pleasant, humid, late summer air evens it out slowly. You can't travel during the nights, plus sleep to rest. Okay. Alright, please no game over screen. Don't need to eat. You can spend the night in a borrowed tent. It's nothing special, but it will protect you from the sleep and the rain, the wind and the rain, and the ground. Okay, so I lose 1 cleanness and 1 or 2 hunger. You're woken up by sunlight, well rested and ready. Without haste, you gather your things, and only after a couple breaths you notice a weird smell like a roast. No burning meat. Burning rotten meat. Disgust crawls into your consciousness. You exit the tent. The horse is looking around nervously. Your bags are where you left them. You see an open gate. Both soldiers are standing near a humble pyre. The man in the shirt looks at it contemplatively. Tully is the first one who addressed you. Torb, she greets you with a nod. We use the horse's manure for the flames, so don't worry about cleaning it up. You see corpse among the flames. It's impossible to tell if it belongs to male or female, but it was an adult. A traveler or an undead? The latter. A young one, she lacked the Noma to understand that she couldn't get inside the camp without climbing. I stabbed her with a spear from a safe distance. She shifts her weight. One more fog, and she'd have been a real threat. Even now, it took a couple hits to knock her down. Sooner or later, every human shell wakes up, gaining more strength with each soul it devours and each moment it spends in the fogs. Burning the dead is not just a religious practice, it's a necessity. Soldiers, priests, mayors, even road wardens. Making a large pyre takes a lot of time, but saves lives. Tulia calls this undead a she. Most unites hesitate to do so. Time for me to leave. Running away from the Rika, I don't blame you. She walks with you for a few steps. Find us here if you need us, or if you learn what happened to Asterion. There's enough ground here for you to rest. Safe travels. These words make you stop. An old farewell, mocked a number of songs and tales, and yet you hear no scorn in Tulia's voice. You wonder how many acts of kindness like this one you're going to experience in the days to follow. She returns to the pyre. You somehow miss the fact that your mount is already saddled and warmed up. Double check your equipment, but you don't need to fix anything. The soldiers were diligent. Normally, preparing any palfrey for a long journey takes a lot of time. Put on your gambeson, make sure your axe is tightly attached to your belt, and then get in the saddle. Palfrey knickers, ready to leave. It's time for you to get to the crossroads, north of here. Oh my god, there's just a huge map. Once you're done with the north, speak with Tulia, return to Hovland. So, when I go back, can I go back there to sleep? Or am I just like fucking... like it's a one and done Marty? Even at a later hour, you wouldn't expect to meet any travelers in the valley. The warm summer breeze lures your mount forward, but the serene chirping of the birds is quickly replaced by the distracting screeches and gurgles coming from further down the path. You find the pack of four-legged griffins that are larger than foxes and merged features of birds and furred beasts. Each one is a different size, coat, and colors, and their temperaments are just as varied. Fronts are covered with vivid feathers, while their rears have darker fur. Their wings are massive, making them impressive jumpers, but they're too heavy to fly. About 24 beasts are yelling, brawling, and chasing each other around, blocking your path. Can't enter the forest blindly. If these or other creatures were to chase after you, the thicket would be disastrous for your horse. There are reasons why travelers stay as close to main roads as possible, and adventurers move in groups. Usually the safest approach would be to stay where you are and just wait for the pack to get hungry. It may, however, take up to a couple hours. You're thinking about your conversation with Tulia, you've got a lot to do, and time may be of the essence. If you have any vitality points, you can use the warrior's training to access unique interactions. The dice icon marks the actions that have random chance. So I could stay here, better safe than sorry. Could take my axe and hurry the horse. If we ride fast enough, we should be fine. Oh, and I've just got the button. Use violence for a direct threat. I can just press axe to violence. I feel like I should just use my crossbow. Crossbows are an easy weapon, and you've got plenty of time to aim. Creature falls to its side and screams, alerting its companions. Confused, they look around, and after a while they run away, one of them limping with your quarrel in its thigh. Well, I didn't shoot it in the heart. You can learn more about the abilities in the character sheet. Advanced training, cool. Ah, interesting. Flying gives you quick benefits, but may turn against you after some time. Oh, that's cool. There's a bunch of little random stuff. Have no combat experience. Maybe I should have went and fought them. Look, they would fuck my horse up. That's the problem. Keep track of your achievements as your journey unfolds. The road splits. According to what the soldiers have told you, you may find a safe inn by turning left. The forest to the right is lush, and the trail overgrown. Kids used to have the song, how did it go? The harshest pathway leads to Dragon's Lair. Those who search for treasure, do you truly dare? The signpost in front of you doesn't make your situation much clearer. It's put here by someone who can't write, for folks who can't read. Covered in old red paint and points east. Blood there, as people say, danger to be found. How's my horse doing? It should be in fucking good condition. Yeah, Sodal. That's fine. Maybe it can't help you choose a path, but you spend many years together. I think I'll go west, so I can go to the innkeeper. So I can ask about the landmarks here. Sodal trots with ease, unbothered by the few branches covering the beaten road. The bird songs and distant howls draw your attention to the forest, which gets sparser and brighter. You spot boars, roe deer, and saurian. I actually learned what roes were in Kingdom Come Deliverance. It's like young deer, basically. Pretty sure. That or like a small type of deer. The sight of a nearby wolf pack worries you, but once you push your hips forward and your palfrey enters a canter, the beasts don't even begin a pursuit. Speed alone will protect you from many dangers. Notice a stone tower, taller than the trees. Oh yes, let's actually go. This is a cool inn. Inns like this one fit the regions traveled by merchants, but you wouldn't expect a place of this size in a forsaken peninsula. This guy must have like a total monopoly. It's just the only inn here. The stone lumber must have been transported from far away, and the workers, guarded by expensive mercenaries, surely lived for many seasons in a primitive hamlet subsisting on salted supplies. There's seemingly no cracks in the wall, and the building was whitewashed only a few years back. The road is wide and beaten. Dozens of souls could hide, if not in the buildings, then at least in the yard. The expenses and labor put into this fortress were worth many trading ships. 3 armed people are on the ramparts, though you only see what's above their waistline. They're leaning on the parapets, right next to the gates, and you think you notice a glimpse of a smile. They wear gambersons, each of them dyed differently, yellow, green, and linen gray. I approach the gate. A woman in yellow armor leans forward. She has long, curly, disorderly red hair, pointing in every possible direction. This combination of colors doesn't work at all. In the woods, one would have to shout to draw this much attention. There's still a fair distance between the two of you, but she speaks loudly. I ain't seen a horse for years now. I just said that's weird to see such a large jackass, huh? Her voice is young and strong, with an accent that reminds you of the villages spread around Avlavan. But no jackass would wear a saddle, I'd say. She exchanges a few words with the male guard wearing green, giving you time to move closer. Well, this one here says there really are donkey saddles. Say, traveler, how hard is it to ride a horse? Let's see. I'll be straightforward. It's easy to learn the basics, but it's tiring. You train different muscles than those for combat. You don't say. She gestures for the other soldier to take care of the gate. What sorts of muscles? You climb down, staying concise and to the point. You point at your back, hips, and thighs, then speak about the training routine that a rider follows to stay in the saddle for more than 2 days. As you enter the yard, the woman also uses a ladder to get off the wall, then leads you under the roof where your palfrey can rest, tethered with a cord to your wooden post, or a wooden post, near some old hay. Once you're ready, go inside and speak with our boss, she says with a shadow of a smile. He has time. There aren't any other travelers around. The other guards take care of various chores. They peek at your mount every now and then, as they're splitting firewood, cleaning their clothes, weeding the garden patches, and moving chairs. 2 of them are making a rope. You head towards the inn, hearing the piercing scream of a boar from the other side of the yard. Dude, let's go. There's boar meat. I think, however, I'm going to call the episode here. Dude, this is a cool game so far. I'm intrigued by the story and by all the colorful descriptions of the, like, nature. I didn't think I would get so sucked into it so quickly. Yeah, this is just like the fantasy of being a ranger in the D&D world. You can find this game on Steam. It is currently on sale until May 17th, which should be after I put this video out, for really cheap. And it's probably would be worth it if you're into this sort of thing, though I don't know if, like, the story just goes like fucking crazy in the latter half and like not a good way or something. I assume it's gonna be like this throughout the whole thing. Yeah, so thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you next time for the next Word Book set.